Welcome back, Attack. I'm Sky, and I think 2015 is going to be the year of the arena shooter. Most definitely. I mean, we got games like Toxic. We have the new Unreal being released. We've got Project Blue Streak, which is on the horizon here. There's a couple more to talk about for sure, but Reflex is hitting the scene early with its early access. Don't worry, guys. I bought into it. I got you covered. Here is my first impressions of it. So if you want to get it early, if you want to wait, or if you just never want to play this game at all, well, this video will probably help you make that decision. So Reflex is supposed to be an arena shooter done right. Reflex has old school gameplay, what that means is very similar to Quake, or actually it really drew its inspiration from a mod for Quake 3. So if you've played Quake Live or any of the Quakes, you're probably going to feel very much at home with Reflex. Now if you're a fan more of the Unreal side of things, maybe Tribes Ascend, stuff like that, it's a little bit different. Reflex is really fast-paced in the sense that there's a lot of agility, so you're going to be moving back and forth very fast. The weapons are very easy to hit, very simple as well. And really, the main point about Reflex, or about these kind of games, is the movement, the very small nuances on the movement. For instance, if you're turning your camera while you're moving or strafing in a certain direction, you'll actually pick up speed. So you can actually strafe and bunny hop to pick up speed, move around the map very fast. You can also do double jumps, little tiny bunny hops across ledges and things like that in order to gain a huge amount of momentum very fast. So unlike Tribes Ascend, which is a game where you just pressed a button and then you went down a hill, gravity kind of took its course, and you built up speed like that, in this game, the agility is so much more intense. You pick up speed by jumping off of these little hills, these little bumps everywhere, or maybe slopes, and you can go faster and faster that way. Good players are going to be able to go max speed pretty much instantly, and if you fight a really good person and you're a noob, not only are you not going to be able to hit them, but you just simply won't be able to catch up with them. That's the difference in Reflex. Sure, we're going to have rocket launchers, we're going to have chain guns, we're going to have all the usual weapons, but what's different is these little tiny nuances that make the game really polished and have a huge skill cap. So what else in Reflex can we do? Well, you actually have multiplayer map editors, and like I said, with the nuances with all of its physics and its movement, you can expect that there's going to be a lot of jump maps. And we already saw that in Quake and Quake Live, all the different Quakes, we saw lots of jump maps. Even TF2, we have lots of jump maps. So in this game, of course, we're going to probably have jump maps with the multiplayer map editor, but also just a lot of different kind of maps with the community. It's already in the game, so if you get early access, you already can start making your own maps in the map editor. It's not easy to use. There's really no tools like what you would see in Halo 4 or Far Cry. It's you gotta use console commands and stuff like that, so it's not for just the average player, but it is in the game already for early access. So it's really cool for me to go and play these community maps and play these different things and just try out things, and yeah, jump maps. It's fun. So right now we do have a replay editor as well. There's some spectating tools, but planned features are going to be full spectator, you know, all the good sweet stuff that we want for competitive scene with replays, all the different kind of spectator stuff, multi-view, casting overlays, spectator versus spectator interactions, talking. We're going to have all that good stuff later on. Right now, though, we only have a couple of game types, and it's just deathmatch. We have a 1v1, team deathmatch, and free-for-all. So that's all we got right now. But in the future, we're going to have Capture the Flag, Control, Arena, Juggernaut, game mode called Mid-Air, which seems interesting, and more. So very excited for that. Right now, there are dedicated servers, and you can make your own servers and just make your own game. Very easy to use. The UI, really not so easy to use. That definitely needs to be updated. Oh yeah, guys, this is alpha, very alpha. All this stuff is probably going to change, graphics, etc. So keep that in mind. Yeah, right now we only have dedicated servers, but in the future there is going to be matchmaking, and the server browser is probably going to be a lot deeper, a lot better as well. The game is integrated with Steam, and we are going to be having Steamworks. And apparently we're going to have training and coaching, which is definitely necessary for this kind of game. I had to go and talk to a couple of veteran players of the genre to sort of get a feel for what this game really has. Now, at first, I wasn't too impressed. I was like, all right, yeah, we need this game. It was cool. But then when I actually got into the details of this game and like I said, the movement nuances, like I didn't even know that existed because it's not explained anywhere, which apparently it will be in the coaching whenever they add the tutorial and stuff in there. But yeah, learning about that really opened my eyes. So it is a cool game. It is really hard trying to move around, keep your momentum, and you know, all these tight corners, and these maps are very smallish. It's an arena shooter, so they're going to be arenas. So you got to be really good at multitasking, being able to move and aim at the same time, but the weapons aren't that complicated. Normally in games like Halo or Call of Duty, we have weapons that kind of are a little bit different. They don't exactly shoot simply in a straight line, or they have added effects, or maybe alt fires, stuff like that, like in Unreal. No, in Reflex, everything is very simple, down to earth, nothing too complicated here, so it's not going to look that special, it's not going to be such a spectacle, but The actual gameplay when you're playing it feels really good, especially if you're good. If you actually know how to utilize these momentum mechanics and all these different movement mechanics, then yeah, you're gonna have a lot of fun. You can do some amazing things with some of these items, even though the game at first seems really simple. It's all these tiny little details in the game that come together and they culminate to make a nice dish, honestly. So the game doesn't have too much flavor right now. There's really nothing thematic with the maps. It just kind of looks Portal-esque, but there will be different themality blocks. We are gonna have, like, you know, ruins. We're gonna have industrial blocks. We're gonna have different kinds of maps. Reflex seems like it's really sticking to its guns here. It's an arena shooter. I think some new players might come into the scene with this game because it does look really well. And also, it's gonna run very, very well. That's the whole point of the game. For planned features, it's planning to be high performance, which is kind of surprising that they actually list that on the planned features because it already performs extremely well. It's gonna run at 60 FPS. They aim for 120 FPS. Like, it's running amazingly fast. If you have just like a basic everyday computer, you're gonna play at 60 FPS. If you actually have a gaming machine, you're probably gonna be running at 120 FPS. You're gonna be enjoying the game, and what they're trying to do is make it just run as solid and fast as possible, and it already is. And speaking on controls and all that, super tight, which is necessary for an arena shooter, and then especially such a game like this with all of its little movement mechanics tied into every little thing that you're doing. Yeah, it feels really good and tight, and that's what it needs to be, and that's what it is. So we don't have anything crazy like Titans coming out of the sky or anything like that. The game is down to earth. Reflex, down to earth, but it's simply a polished arena shooter. And that's weird, I said polished because it's alpha. It's so early in the game. They don't even have textures for all the guns, but already the gameplay is pretty freaking solid. So I can say that. If you want to get into early access, I'm going to say do it if you are maybe a veteran of arena shooters, if you really enjoyed Quake. But if you're somebody totally new to this entire genre, don't get it. Wait until reviews come out. Wait until the game is actually fully done, and then you'll be able to enjoy it. Because I do think it is going to be a good game, and even if you aren't that skilled at these kind of games, it's still fun to learn all these little tiny things, all these little mechanics, and, you know, do jump maps. It's fun to do that. It's just fun to jump around and shoot rockets at your friends. So I think Reflex is going to be a good game. I think it could be competitive, and that's what they're aiming for. So that's something I definitely need to mention for my first impressions, is that they are aiming to be competitive here. They are having all these spectator features being put in, there are servers being put in, all this cool stuff. The game is just really solid already, and you can just see that, yeah, they want to be competitive, and I hope it does get competitive. Get early access if you want to support the scene. And for those everyday players, definitely just keep your eye on this. So thanks for watching. I'm Skyline Shore with Attack Gaming, and I did have fun with Reflex. I really did. It ran great, feels great, and I can't wait to learn more. Check out MMOATK.com for more first impressions and some cool articles there, top 10s and other stuff, and like and subscribe if you want to check out the content as soon as it's uploaded. See you guys later. I'm going to go jump back into a game in Reflex. Maybe sooner than later. I'll see you on there.
Put something in your mouth again.
Can I put it in my hand first?
No, you know how this works.
Oh
I shove it in your mouth.
Please choose your words wisely.
Okay, lean back.
Oh, what?
Well,